G'day and welcome to Queensland Farmer. Today we're doing some fencing and we're going to be using this Toro mini track loader to dig our holes, and then after that we'll cement in our rotech fencing system. I hope you enjoy the video. Well, that was certainly a fun ride. This is an example of the pasture that we haven't actually had any cattle on for 3 years. As you can see, there's plenty of good food in there for them. It's about 15 acres, and as they expect this year is going to be a little bit drier, it's important that we're able to utilise the land, and putting a fence in here will mean that we can use this without having the cattle contaminate the dam. We'll still have access to water because we're also putting in a 10,000 litre tank. Well, I've got to say I'm not particularly impressed with this Toro. It doesn't seem to have the guts to dig into ground like this. I am most surprised. So look, we're going to try and put a bit of water in there, and hopefully that will make the ground a little bit easier and we might get some more progress. Otherwise we'll be at this all day. Well, that's the last hole for today. The jury's still out regarding these Toros, or at least for me. Unless I've been doing it wrong, it just seemed that the machine moved around an awful lot while I was digging the hole. So the hole isn't exactly round, it's oblique, a bit like an egg. Anyway, it should be able to cover that up with a bit of concrete, and you'll never know. We've got premix, which is this stuff over here. Stuff over here. We've got some concrete, and we put in 4 scoops of the premix to 1 scoop of that concrete, and the target is to get it into this hole over there with spilling the least amount of concrete and making sure everything's nice and straight. Let's see how we go. And you might wonder why we're not hearing the sounds of a generator. Well, I recently purchased one of those Bluetti solar power stations, which I've got sitting inside my ute, supplying us with power. Certainly a convenient way to have portable power without the noise. Well, I think that one's come up okay. It's not likely to have any water pool up against that steel. What I didn't cover off before is that we need water to bring cement and premix together, and we do that by using this 1,000 litre IBC, which I've just got sitting on the back of the truck. I think it's got about 200 litres in it. Doesn't need to be full. As you can see, we don't use a lot of water, but it's just enough to make sure that that mix is right and that it flows out into the hole when you need it to. That's the last post concreted in today. It's pretty warm today. I think it's about 32 degrees Celsius. And during this last bit of concreting, we've had the cows come over just to say g'day. You'd be surprised what sticky beaks they are. Okay, well, we're back here again today, and the next stage we're going to look at is how we add a stay to the post that we concreted in. This system allows you to do this work out in the field, and it doesn't require any welding at all. And given we've got 43 km/h gusts today, welding and grinding is the sort of thing you don't want to do out in the bush on a day like today, given it's high fire risk, and that's really going to upset the neighbours. So what the construction is you can see this steel pole here. This will be the stay. That's going to fit into this piece of steel here. This steel cable will go over the top of that post, and that's what you'll tension it against. There's also a cap there to make sure that we can stop any water heading in there and rusting it out prematurely. Okay, sit back and relax and enjoy the ride. It may not be perfectly straight at this stage, however, we can adjust this once we put the barbed wire in place. And then after the barbed wire is in place, we'll come back and we'll fit these gates. the job's done. And now we've got an additional 2 paddocks that we can manage a bit more effectively. You might notice that the difference in the grass at the start of the video to the end of the video is quite different. That's because we've been doing this project for a few months while we've had other things to do around the farm. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.